Hey, Warrior Saints, glad to have you beautiful people in with us on this fantastic Friday. Fabulous Friday? It's Fry. Yay! And we are going to wrap up our week talking about parenting. We're going to take what Father Chris was talking about yesterday with this understanding of letting your children suffer, and not in the masochistic way, but I'm going to tell you a true story, and I have this person's permission to use this story. I was having dinner at someone's house once, and their teenage son handed the plate to their mother because we were eating steak and he needed her to cut his meat for him. As a teenager, he didn't know how to use the fork and knife all the way. And I don't know what it was. I said, please stop what you're doing right now. It's time you learn how to cut your own meat. And the reason that I think this is so important is not that he was going to suffer and go hungry if he didn't cut his own meat, or if his mother wasn't cutting his meat for him, or whatever was going on. But he will never learn to be thankful for anything because he won't have to work for it. There's an element in what we're doing and in that suffering that Father Chris was talking about, where we don't want our kids to struggle. We don't want them to have a hard time. I sit there and I watch my 1-year-old son trying to eat, and he's trying to learn how to use the fork himself, and he sometimes misses a little bit. It's plastic, don't worry. He's not jabbing himself in the eye with a fork, but he is learning how to do it. He's going through the process. And if we don't let them struggle a little bit, which is part of what you learn through that suffering process, is going through that struggle, going through figuring it out, then they're never going to be grateful. They're never going to have that sense of accomplishment. This is part of the issue with participation trophies. This is part of the issue with the self-esteem movement of the 1980s. And this is why we all run around as narcissists today. Because we never learned how to be grateful, because we didn't learn how to work for something. But think about it. When you had that project that you were working on, when you had that thing that you had to struggle through, and the sense of accomplishment that you had afterwards. I recently took my daughter to the park, and I wish I could show you all this beautiful video of her trying to do the little climbing wall. The first video is her struggling to get up this little climbing wall. The second one is her figuring out how to actually do it, where to put her feet as she's going up the wall. And the celebration dance at the top is joyful, because in the struggle, in the suffering, not only is hope produced, not only is endurance produced, but most importantly, character is produced. And when our character is developed in a way that we go to that place where we are able to actually have a character that is one of gratitude, where we are grateful for the things that we are given, the things that we earn, the things that we work for, and all the things that we are doing in our lives, then we break through it. And we actually become people who know how to say thank you. First and foremost to those standing right in front of us, and ultimately we're able to say thank you to God. And the way that we work through this is that we have to get into the fight. We have to get in it. We have to do it. And we have to really be ready to go into battle so that we are following the commandments of God. Because ultimately those battles, that is where the struggle is. It's where it lives. If we're not willing to do it ourselves and struggle ourselves, we're never going to be able to teach our kids how to get into the struggle. And then we're never going to get to a place where we're able to have a gratitude attitude. And we become people who think everything is just going to be given to them because it's something that they are entitled to, because they are special, and they never learned how to actually struggle and cut their own meat. We're fighting to be better than that. We're fighting to get through that. We're fighting to go beyond that so that we know what gratitude is, because gratitude lies on the other side of that crucifixional life that we are always talking about. So if you're ready to get into the mix and you're ready to go to battle so that you can overcome and then show your kids how to overcome the struggle, because the struggle is real, get on warriorsaints.org and get yourself the battle plan. Get yourself an action plan that you can put into motion today so that you can overcome the struggle and teach your kids how to overcome the struggle and become men and women who have an attitude of gratitude. We'll be back again on Sunday with Orthros and Divine Liturgy at 9 and 10 a.m. respectively, and then we'll continue with our Crucifixional live stream on Monday. Christ is risen. Have a beautiful day, great weekend, and keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.